What are the differences between Linux and Windows? Text files, Unicode encoding. I am only using the 128 character set defined in the original ANSI standard. But as a whole, how are the files implemented differently? I am not concerned with the display, i.e. if a tab is displayed with 6 or 8 characters but the actual internal representation in memory. One difference I've heard is the use of / or /n, Windows, versus /n for line termination, Linux.
Unicode on Windows is UTF-16 and each character is 2 or 4 bytes. Linux uses UTF-8, and each character is between 1 and 4 bytes. The absolute minimum every software developer absolutely, positively must know about Unicode and character sets, no excuses.
Line breaks. Windows uses crlf, \r\n, 0d0a, line endings while Unix just uses lf, \n, 0a. Character encoding. Most modern, i.e., since 2004 or so, Unix-like systems make UTF-8 the default character encoding. Windows, however, lacks native support for UTF-8. It internally works in UTF-16, and assumes that char-based strings are in a legacy code page. Fortunately, Notepad is capable of reading UTF-8 files. Unfortunately, ANSI encoding is still the default. Problematic special characters. U+001A substitute. Windows, rarely, uses Ctrl+Z as an end-of-file character. For example, if you type a file at the command prompt, it will be truncated at the first 1A byte. On Unix, Ctrl+Z is nothing special. U+F0 with no break space, byte order mark. On Windows, UTF-8 files often start with a byte order mark, FBBBF, to distinguish them from ANSI files. On Linux, the bomb is discouraged because it breaks things like shebang lines and shell scripts. Plus, it'd be pointless to have a UTF-8 signature when UTF-8 is the default encoding anyway.
One difference I've here is the use of \r/n, Windows, versus \n for line breaks, Linux. Yes. Most Unix text editors will handle this automatically. Windows programmers' editors may handle this, general text editors, base Notepad, will not. Windows seems to also need the EOF, Ctrl-Z, as end of file in some contexts, whereas you'll probably never see it on Unix. Remember that macOS X is now Unix underneath, so it uses Unix line endings. Though before OS X, macOS 9 and below, it had its own ending, \r. Edit, in other formats CR and LF. \n is ASCII 0x0a, line feed, LF. \r is ASCII 0x0d, carriage return, CR.
What Unicode encoding is used is not OS-based. Even Windows Notepad.x has options listed. I'll put in brackets what Notepad means by that. ANSI not Unicode. Unicode Notepad means Unicode Unicode Big Endian B, UTF-8. ANSI isn't Unicoded involves a very limited number of characters, so let's put that aside. But see, even Notepad can do L, or B, or UTF-8. And Notepad aside, UTF-8 can be with or without a bomb. And I use Windows with Cygwin, though Windows ports may well do /r/n even when you specify /n. Have seen said do that. There is no one rule of what Unicode encoding a particular OS uses. It wouldn't be a very flexible OS if there was. To really see the differences, know the software, what encoding a piece of software uses or offers. Get Cygwin and XXT, and/or a hex editor and look at what is really inside the file. Use the file command to help identify a file. Then you actually see what UTF-16-bitler is, what UTF-16-bitb is, what UTF-8 is, and UTF-8 can be with or without a bomb. Sometimes you can tell Notepad to save as Unicode, by which Notepad means Unicode 16-bit little endian, and it won't. But choose a Unicode font like Arial Unicode, and copy in some Unicode characters from CharmApp and it will. And a good way to see what Notepad or whatever software is doing, is by looking at the hex of a file. The dd command, a nix command I run from Cygwin within Windows, can switch it. And Notepad itself can save as UTF-16 big endian or UTF-16 little endian or UTF-8. If you're a technical person or even just a Notepad user, you're not bound to one encoding because of your OS. I suppose UTF-8 makes more sense than UTF-16. UTF-16 would use 16 bits even for characters that should only need 8 bits. Also though, bear in mind that CharmApp shows the UTF-16 code. Sublime, a Windows text editor, saves Unicode as UTF-8 by default. I use Windows and sometimes Unicode, and I'm using UTF-8 mostly. And as Windows is that technically flexible, Linux is at least as technically flexible.